Hello, and welcome to Kickin' and Crocs, the podcast. We talk about martial arts stuff, geeky stuff,
and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and snow.
Yeah.
My name is Steve. I'm one half of Kickin' and Crocs.
I'm Dave, the other half of Kickin' Crocs, and next to me is the Slytherin of Kickin' Apparently.
To the audio listeners, he said that.
The shadow half, but for today, the Slytherin.
Because he's wearing a green scarf.
He's got a green scarf, green hat.
Well,
10 points, Slytherin.
10 points to Slytherin.
Slytherin should have won. The entire game was fixed.
I mean, actually, this is going off on a tangent completely not with what we had a topic for. But when you look at the end of the Harry Potter first one, Slytherin actually won the House Cup. And then Dumbledore was like,
yeah, no.
Let me see how I could rob you guys of this win.
Some extra points because Harry and his friends did this weird thing that nobody else knew about. So here you go. I'm handing it to
Which they
Gryffindor.
can't prove even happened. I mean, they're just taking them on their word.
Anyway.
Anywho, moving away from the Harry Potter-esque topic. Hang on. These wires are all messed up. Yeah, continue on.
For those of you that did not or do not.
So let's explain the ensemble.
Okay, so for those of you that don't live in our area, the New Jersey, the Tri-State, the East Coast, which Uganda, I know some. Uganda.
Uruguay. Argentina.
Uruguay.
No, we had snow this week.
We did, finally.
We had enough snow to shut things down. Ish.
That's it.
So that's why
our area.
That's why Nick is dressed like a Slytherin, because apparently he goes very Harry Potter. No, he goes actually Draco Malfoy in the snow.
Direct. So the hat is because we're trying on different hats this season. And the scarf, the Draco, as you want to say it, the Slytherin, is just to celebrate our first snow day of the year, really, our first snow week of the year.
Yeah, and much as Slytherin was robbed, our audience was robbed today, at least a little bit, because we were going to have on a guest.
We were.
One
we're
Mr.
have
V-Rocket. But don't worry, you're not robbed entirely, because he'll be on next
Yeah,
week.
we're going to get Vinatelli on next week.
With video this year.
Excuse me.
Hopefully.
His name is
Hopefully.
V-Rocket?
Yep, V-Rocket. That's right. You are correct. I am wrong.
The goal is for video.
So.
Yep.
I like it. So we've got again, to go on our motif, for those of you that saw our episode last week, we've got agenda, folks.
Yeah, we're trying to stay a little bit more focused now. Still tangity, but focused tangity.
I have no idea you were talking about Slytherin. What?
So,
so
today
we're going to be very focused on these topics. So about Harry Potter.
You know what we do? We slip in the tangents before the agenda.
Yep.
So today we're talking snow days.
Snow days.
Snow days. So like we were saying earlier, we had a nice snow week.
Yeah.
You know, we had
No,
some
really.
things
I mean,
canceled.
I would say we got one good snow day out of it. It
No, the
snowed
kids-
Monday into Tuesday, but we didn't.
And then yesterday.
Close.
Okay, so let's talk about we'll talk about a
What's our first topic? You
we'll,
So
we'll go in
snow-
kind of reverse order.
Snow,
we'll
for
go-
those of you that don't know, is the legal white powder that comes from the sky.
So we'll go in reverse order on
It is
our
cold in nature, and it melts upon contact.
We're gonna go from bottom to top.
Oh, go
today.
for it.
So we'll talk about first pre-snow rituals.
Pre-snow rituals.
So like when you were a kid and they were like,
Yeah.
oh, it might snow tomorrow, and people would do different things.
Are you referring to the thing with like turn your pajamas inside out?
So that's one of them. So
Okay.
so we got one. Turn your pajamas inside out.
I heard that one yesterday, actually. One of my neighbors was like, I guess I'm wearing my pajamas inside out. And when I say my neighbor, and I love all my neighbors, she's an
62-year-old
adult.
Oh, I was gonna say 62-year-old man.
Not that old, but she's
We
mature
should
like
invent-
me.
We should invent a croc thing. Like, wear one in sport mode and turn your gibbets upside down.
Turn your gibbets upside down.
Ooh.
I heard one that I'd never heard before.
What's that?
One of the kids said, "Put an ice cube in the toilet." Is that one that's been a thing?
I heard a couple I haven't
That's
heard
a new
before.
one.
Is that a new one?
I
Yeah.
guess with
Yeah.
the times,
I had no
heard,
idea what she was talking about. I was like, "Huh?"
So one of the kids
My
was
kids will throw the
told,
whole damn tray in.
one of the kids was told, turn the pajamas inside out and
Okay.
sleep with a spoon under your pillow.
Sleep with a spoon under your pillow?
Yeah, I've never heard that one before.
What
Have
is-
you ever heard that one
what?
before?
No, I've never heard that.
No. Yeah, I'm trying to think back because there have been some weird ones out there, and I feel like I've heard a spoon related one, but not under the pillow.
Yeah,
That's
I've never
new.
heard that one before.
So
Yeah.
so still the pajamas. Pajamas is
That's the only
consistent.
one that
That's
I heard.
that's one from my youth. I remember
Yeah.
that, but I don't ever remember ice cube in the toilet or spoon under the
pillow. Yeah.
Somebody also said like put a white Crayola crayon in the fridge or the freezer.
What?
Just
Yeah.
because it's white, so you freeze the snow.
This is what the teachers are telling the kids like Wednesday
So weird.
or whatever.
I mean, just for us, we don't have any tradition. My kids like to just say, "Oh, well, I'm going to assume it's not going to have school tomorrow. I'm going to stay up as late as possible." Horrible strategy.
Yeah, terrible idea.
Not call snow.
Terrible idea, especially for the Monday into the Tuesday, because Tuesday was just a delayed opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a tough one too. You had the big when they all got up because they thought they were going to be out of school.
Well, I mean, they didn't wear their pajamas inside out.
Yeah,
We're starting it right now. Like, what should you do? Gibbets upside down, one in sport mode, one not.
Comment down below what you guys think.
What
If
should
you're
be the
watching this on
Croc?
YouTube, what should the Croc-related tradition or ritual be? if
the
you wanna
day
make it
before,
snow?
you only wear your left Croc
Something like that.
in the evening.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, this is a tough one because
That's a-
Crocs aren't really snow-related.
I have to say,
Sure they are. I wore my Crocs the whole time.
My Croc axles,
Great in snow.
The ones we did the
Bro.
unboxing video for.
so good in the snow.
Really?
Oh, where did you get?
Man, I can't feel anything.
Later, we're gonna talk about the audio you got for that video. That was funny.
The audio
the
that I
female
got for the
voice
video?
that you had that was actually.
Oh, that's
talking
just
to you.
AI text-to-speech.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
That's all that it is.
that
Yeah.
was actually him.
Actual voice.
That's his voice. He does voices.
Crocs
You
doesn't
thought-
sell these
You
anymore.
thought that was AI, and it's just Steve going, Crocs doesn't sell.
Steve finally letting loose.
Man of many talents.
He found these on eBay for $40 or something.
That was great. I love that.
I actually have Steve's voice set as my GPS in the car.
I believe you.
Turn left.
Yeah, mine's an old Italian guy. You missed it again. Turn
You missed-
around.
you missed your
What's
turn.
going
So-
on here?
So, leading backwards again. So
Yes.
we have the snow day traditions, like the pre-snow day traditions.
Yep, to try to get it to snow. Yep.
So we have a student, an adult student that pointed out, and he's I think dead on accurate. Do schools close earlier now? Like if they think there's going to be snow?
Well, our good fan Will Marunka.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a matter of earlier, but I think it's a matter of less impact they
I'll share it in a
close.
second.
So
I don't know.
It's
So-
it's because I remember it being the night before or the morning of. It
Well, we used
depended.
to. Okay, so the policy of the dojo is always when prick schools close
Yep.
or when Tom's River schools close. When the school systems close, the dojo would close for
Yep.
inclement weather. But then one year they kept calling to close and nothing would happen because it'd be on the news. So we were like, we got to stay open because we can't keep closing with totally dry roads and the sun shining in the sky.
Well,
Yes.
I think the picture that Steve's going to throw up there at some point was shared by Will from our
Yes,
school.
the picture is now is on the screen now.
And it
can't
shows
find it on my
the
phone.
like from the early in the mid 1900s, 1960s, 1970s, I think, compared to now.
1977 here.
And it was the same level of snow, maybe even more, and they're still going to work
So,
in old.
Oh my God!
You know,
remember
real
what was
wheel
it- what was it-
cars.
Was it
Here,
90?
here it
Was
is,
it
here it is.
90?
I found it.
What was
So
it?
it's-
99, 93, 90?
no,
Yeah, I got it. So the top,
98?
the top of the
98?
photo.
No, it was
we'll
like
just describe it for the
94,
audio
95.
listeners. The top of the photo is 1977. The snow
77.
is like up to people's shoulders, and they're digging out the road. Right, like there's a group of people just out in the road digging it out, and the caption says "Off to school."
Yeah.
And then the bottom photo is 2024, and there's a light dusting of snow on the street. Like there's barely any snow there, and the caption says "Back to bed."
It would have been better if it's like a kid with a snowflake in his hand, in his
Yeah.
finger, and it's just like close it down.
So we
So
what do you call it? No, I forgot my train of thought. Oh
Well,
yeah.
lose
So
your
like
iPad
like
then.
Nick and I were just talking about. What was it? 93. People that are
in
age
the
or
mid
close to it.
90s
In
was
the
a
mid
big
90s, there was a
snowstorm.
huge blizzard,
Yep.
which froze everything.
It was a good,
Um,
almost a full 2 feet of snow. Like,
It
big,
was
yeah.
crazy. And I still remember going to school before it started. Like they were like, "Oh, we'll see if this actually happens."
Yeah. They're like,
Uh,
you're gonna have to
the
go home.
Snow is already falling outside the. Oh, we'll see if it snows.
No,
We'll see.
it
We'll
wasn't
see.
Overall-
until the bus, the snow was like at the bus bumper. Like, you have to go home.
Overall trust in meteorology has grown significantly over the years. Now
Yeah.
they're like,
Do
it
you
may
think
snow.
so?
Shut it down.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think they don't trust meteorology so heavily. They're like, just in case this ends up being the end of days, we're taking off. Because they're
Well,
so off.
They might be keeping something from
So,
us.
so we know Steve's a little younger than us.
Hi.
So have you ever had? I know they did delayed openings, right?
Yes.
Because the kids got
Yes,
delayed
indeed,
openings this
yes.
week. So, but my question is, have you ever?
Mhm.
Because I know Nick has, and I know I have. Have you ever had an early dismissal because of snow? Because I feel like that doesn't happen anymore.
In high school.
And I'll be
Okay.
honest, that's the first thing. My wife, Nicole, works at a school in a local town here as well. She said, why don't they send them to school? And if it's really bad, early dismissal. And I don't think they do it anymore.
That's what used to happen.
They did that for me in high school because it was kind of like the situation that it was yesterday, or Friday rather, because we are one day in the future on this podcast. Technically, the snow had started, so obviously high schools start earlier. They start around 7 o'clock in the morning. So at that point, it was not snowing. It was going, it was projected to have snow, but it was not snowing yet.
Right.
So like, all right, well, nothing's been called yet. So we got on the bus, went into school. It started snowing by about 8 to 9ish, I want to say.
Yeah.
And then it was coming down pretty heavily, and then we got dismissed. Oh God, what was it, like 11:30?
Right. They did like an early dismissal, which
Yeah, it
used
was
to
like
happen.
11:30.
It used to happen more, but I feel like, even though you're younger than us, you're still, believe it or not, you're older than this young generation.
I am.
So
I am. I'm in like that weird middle ground
I
right
don't
now.
think these kids have experienced early dismissals
I
because
don't think so.
if
It was
they,
such
if
a good
they,
feeling.
If they project that it's going to snow,
Go
like,
home.
like Friday, they're like, it's probably going to snow the heaviest between 11 and 3. Shut it all down.
But to be fair, this is the same generation that did experience COVID. So there's
Very true.
right where they were home for an entire year and a half almost.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So they did experience some kind of dismissal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
early dismissal.
You're dismissed for
Early
society.
dismissal for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see
early-
you in 2021.
Early societal dismissal.
Yeah.
The longest 2-week shutdown ever.
Said early society dismissal.
Early societal dismissal. You're out of society for 2 years.
What's-
Comment if
yeah,
you're watching
what-
on YouTube. Comment down below if you have ever had to be sent home from school early because of snow.
Yeah, not
specifically.
because like you threw up in like
No, not because
like Granny Smith's classroom.
because
Yeah.
of snow.
Like
Seriously.
yeah.
What was next?
What schools are closing? The schools of Earth.
Probably okay. Yeah.
All right, what do we
yeah.
got?
I guess we're on to driving in the snow.
Driving in the snow.
So I had this conversation the other day because I have folks that I work with in Arizona, California, Texas, so they're all over the place.
All places where it doesn't snow.
All places where it doesn't
Yo,
snow
Texas
at all.
had snow last year, remember? And nobody
They
knew how to-
freaked out.
No,
Nobody could
no,
drive
There
in
were
it.
fatalities because people, they don't have generators. When
No.
the power goes
no,
out.
I know, I understand
So
that.
they were actually lighting furniture on fire
Yeah.
for heat, and folks died in their homes.
Oh yeah,
It
they
was
also
horrible.
because
they
they
also
would have
couldn't.
no idea.
they
that
also
it's
couldn't
bad
drive
to
in the
have
snow.
an open fire
Yep.
in the house. They would have no idea.
Well, what's interesting,
They
and
couldn't.
I had this conversation on Wednesday. I said, I'm surprised the company didn't come in and start selling generators and making a huge profit
was a
off of it, because what a great selling point.
But
Last year,
Here's
Yeah.
something that
Stuff.
you need,
and,
and
it,
I'm
you,
the only
you-
one in town that's got it.
and it doesn't
Well,
have to be the ones that you pay $20,000 and you hook up your house to it. It could be just a regular generator that you plug in, running off
Even
gas.
just
yeah.
you just the heat, just to have the heat going.
So
Yep.
you know, I run the Disney Marathon almost every year.
Yep.
So the one year we did it was the coldest winter in Florida history.
Really?
So we ran it.
How cold was that?
They run in January.
55?
No. See, and that's the
No,
thing.
it's like 9 degrees.
That's
50 degrees.
well, that's the thing. That's what everybody thinks is Florida doesn't get cold.
It does at night though.
It does.
It gets very cold that year. So what happened was it dropped to the low 30s, high
Wow.
20s, low 30s.
They must have thought it was the end of days.
So you went. So all the runners are there to run the marathon because, like I said, it's like the first week in January. So all the WalMarts, which is the big shopping centers there, were cleared out of all the long sleeve,
Yeah,
anything that
yeah.
could potentially be like a winter attire. So all the athletes were trying to snatch up everything, and that was like a couple years into me running Disney. So I hadn't really experienced. I always like most of the races were pretty warm.
Right, because it's Florida.
But what I noted was it hailed. It literally sleeted and hailed during the race, which was crazy. The rest stations, you know, the water stations,
Yep.
all ice and slush.
Ooh.
So you had to watch your step when you were. It was freezing.
Yeesh.
But what I noted was we watched the news. We're like sitting in the condo watching the news.
Mm-hmm.
They had every news channel had a segment on how to winterize the pipes, tying towels around the pipes because they weren't winterized.
Well, here they're built that way.
Where
Florida.
here
yeah,
they're
yeah.
built that way. So imagine them getting like real legit snow.
But now here though,
Crazy.
right? The one thing to keep in mind that a lot of folks don't think of when they first move out is if you have like a townhouse or a house and you've always rented or lived with your family, shutting off your external pipes.
Yeah.
Like, people don't think
Yeah.
about that, right? So you have a hose and you leave the hose plugged in.
I
you
always
you
turn mine off.
You have to.
You have to.
Shut off your internal pipes. These are for our younger guys, right? Not our homeowners that have been around for a while.
Yeah.
If you don't, the pipes on the outside of your house will freeze and burst on the inside of your house.
Yep.
It'll be a disaster.
It's
So-
and it's funny because we live in, obviously we're Jersey folk, so we have, not lately, but we've had in the past some nasty winters.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we haven't really had them
Sure
now.
did.
So I feel like older generations, like us, we kind of know how to drive in the snow.
Oh
But
yeah.
these younger generations don't exactly have the experience that we have.
But I don't exactly mean they don't have it at all. Yes.
Nope.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
they haven't had the winters that we've
So-
had.
The last time we had a snowstorm where it was like a foot of snow or like over a foot of snow was before 2020.
Yeah.
It
So I'll
was
say
at
this, Steve,
least 3 years ago.
Because you haven't done really ice driving or snow driving.
I
would
have.
assume.
A little
I
bit.
have.
He's
So
done a little bit.
have you
yeah.
ever
I
been
did.
in a scenario where
I was-
the brake is on the car
Mhm.
and it's still moving towards another car?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was in my accent, my little
you
Hyundai
have had that.
accent.
Yeah.
So
I have had that.
I had one where I'm on the on ramp for the park.
and I hear the. brrrr.
No, not even.
Not
I
even
was
that?
literally, but I've heard that too.
Yeah, right,
But
right.
I'm in the brake.
That's the anti-lock brakes.
I'm
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
in
brake.
case you're wondering.
I'm
Yeah,
full,
yeah.
and that's if the brake can't connect because it's fighting the ice. In my scenario, it caught, but I was on a sheet and I'm sliding towards the car in front of me, super slow. I lower the window. I look out. I said, "Foot's on the brake," and he's like, "Gotcha." And we really went bumper to bumper. There was nothing I could do to stop it. He knew it, and
yeah.
like it
Well,
is what it is.
so anti-lock brakes. When I started driving, that wasn't a thing on my car.
Yes,
So
I
you had
know.
to pump the brakes.
Yep.
So now what most people don't know is when you have anti-lock brake ABS system, you press down, but you press hard to engage it, and that vibrating, you press even harder through that vibrating because that is the computer pumping your brakes faster than you can
Yes.
humanly pump your brakes.
Yep.
Mhm. Yep.
But my old '93 Pontiac Grand Am did not have that.
Now,
So
did
when
you-
we started to spin, I'm like,
Where he- yeah, he's like Nintendo AB controller.
I was like the old trackpad on the Nintendo. If
Yes.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
the running pad for yes.
Back when you had the Nintendo Olympics and you're like, oh, I'm doing the hurdles.
Before your friends figured out
Yeah.
to cheat with the palm of their hands.
Yeah, I hated when they figured that out.
Oh,
But yeah,
man.
so Tuesday night was actually the worst night because it started to snow.
Yeah, we
and
had to
the
drive home in
roads got
that.
completely icy. The dojo was still open. We only canceled the last class, so we drove home on sheet
ice.
white roads.
Yep.
So
The lane lines.
yeah,
You
non-existent.
could not
Can't
see
see
them.
anything.
You could not see
It took
them.
me like an hour to get home from the school.
Ooh.
It was crazy.
For me, it didn't take much longer than usual because when I was driving home, there actually wasn't too much traffic out, and the people that were out there were actually being
Cautious.
So
fairly
he-
cautious. They were
so
driving pretty
he got
slow,
to
keeping
leave.
distance. I was like, okay, good.
We had a particular student.
Good.
I'm not naming names, but we had one student whose parents were late in picking him up.
God, it happens.
So when normally we canceled the last class, right?
Yes.
So he got to leave the Tom's River School right away.
Good. Okay.
We spent
At
another
normal
hour
time, pretty much.
waiting. So
It happens,
I
yeah.
left very close to when I normally would have left had class happened. in
Which
the
is a
first
lot more
place,
snow at that point in time.
Which is a lot more snow at that point.
Yep.
And
Yep.
what killed me was, so it took me a while to get home, right? I'm safe, I'm cautious. I got home I park in the driveway, right?
Okay.
And then as I'm putting the key in my front door to go inside, a lifted truck just out having fun is completely sideways doing his drift down my road.
Oh my God.
You know how
Yeah,
having fun?
uh-huh.
He just completely
What the
sideways like
heck,
woo! And I'm like, dude, do that in a parking lot?
Yeah, not in a community with kids.
Do that in a
and
parking
my
lot? Do that
Wait,
in
this is the road in front of your house?
Western, yeah, right in front of my house.
There are cars that come whipping down that
No
road.
joke.
And
so,
they park on the side of the road
so
so you
he's
ram into one
full
of the cars.
sideways, window down, like woo! And I'm looking at him from my front door, like what the heck? Had I been, and if you know my road, it's a pass through the one.
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
thin.
People drive it all the time, and it's
Yeah.
not a wide road. People,
People
park
come
on the side of
driving
the
down those
street.
pretty
Yep.
fast.
So I'm watching him do his thing, and I'm like, he could have done it in like a parking lot or like a dead end street where you do the donuts.
Or
on the
do it
dead
in
end.
Steve's neighborhood.
So all I kept thinking was, had I been 3 minutes later, this dude would have been behind me and How would he brake when I need to turn into my driveway?
Well, that's
What would happen?
Dave. That's 2 accidents in 2 weeks you avoided. Remember the last week for the podcast?
Last week I almost got.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you mentioned that.
We
in the
drove,
podcast,
yeah,
right?
we did, and we actually drove by the debris. So, like, anybody
did?
thought I was kidding. We drove by the next day. I was like, "See, there it is, Kelsey." I pointed to my wife, and she's
As he
like,
points right into Nick's face.
she looked at it, she goes, "Oh my god," because there was still glass and things everywhere. But Nick almost drank from my tea.
I did because I was I was defending myself from your points.
He's like, "Oh, this looks yummy." I'll just
To the audio listeners, it's chaos on the set right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So that's
So yeah, I avoided some.
so when
but
I
I was watching a guy drift down the road like.
That's too
Wow, and he's
funny.
like hooting and hollering, like it's 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, like woo! He's drifting. On Tuesday nights we play Mario Kart,
That's right.
and he's drifting like he's going through a
That's
turn on Rainbow
right.
Road,
It's a sign.
like
It's a sign.
unbelievable.
It's a sign.
So yeah, so that's my driving experience in the snow.
When we were younger, we used to go into parking lots and do like figure eights and stuff in the
yeah,
snow
but
to
you were
get
in
used to it.
but you were in a parking lot.
No. But I'm saying as a way to get used to the snow.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
but
know?
still, you weren't in a situation where like
This
no,
is a
what that
guy-
guy did was dangerous.
crazy.
Yeah.
Completely.
And at first I thought it was Rob because
It was a lifted truck.
as I lifted up, like
He doesn't know how to
I'm
drive.
like, is that Rob? No,
Imagine
it's
if
not
it,
Rob.
imagine if
Not
it
Rob.
was. Oh, you would have had his head.
Oh,
you
my
would have
God.
had his head.
No, it wasn't Rob. The truck was like a black colored truck. Rob's is blue.
okay.
But it was like that size truck just going sideways. I was like, that's
my God.
not like
Not safe.
That
man.
is
not cool.
awesome that nothing happened, and
Yeah, that's
very
very,
scary
very
if something did
fortuitous.
happen.
and I
Yeah.
stood there watching too. Like
I know.
I was like, oh,
Well, what are you gonna do at that point?
And there was
other than-
nobody, you know
Oh,
that
at that point you can't do anything.
you know
You're
the
just standing there
silence.
like,
You know the absolute
man.
silence
Just take
when
it
it's
all in,
snowing.
Steve.
yeah.
It's just pure silence when it's snowing. So it's
Yeah.
just me
So
standing in my
relaxing.
front door, pure silence, nobody anywhere, and then this truck just goes by sideways. I'm like,
It sounds like a moment from a movie.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
so funny.
yeah.
Oh,
It was
my
something.
gosh.
Which I believe you're going to start streaming our Mario Karts at some point on
Yeah.
your personal channel.
Yeah. I
um,
when I come over.
which you
tonight-
made fun of my personal
Hey,
channel.
I did not make fun of your
What,
personal
you have one?
channel.
I
did no
have
such thing.
a personal YouTube. I don't post like he does.
Well, yeah,
um,
no, it's like
I
his
have
YouTube
two
account.
videos.
It's his
I
account.
have like 2 videos. But my YouTube account was my old AOL screen name, Bushido God. So he's like, is it really Bushido God? I was like, yeah, man. It was like my 7th or 8th grade AOL screen name. Never changed it.
He sent it to me, and I was cracking up. He goes, "This is," and I'm like, "What?" He goes, "It's a real thing." I'm like, no, it's not. He's
It's
like,
a
"Oh
real
yeah."
thing.
Yeah.
It's the real thing. I looked at it.
Now, here's
because
the deal.
I saw it, and I didn't know who it was. I
It
was
was
like,
me.
Here's the
"Who is
problem.
Bushido God."
I-
But then I looked at the profile picture, and I was like, I know that nose anyway.
So I'm going to be honest. I have no leg to stand on because my initial YouTube account wasn't great either, and we're going to leave it at that. So you're okay with Bushido God? I'll let you
I
have it.
just used my old AOL screen name. But
Love
I remember going back. I didn't know YouTube was going to become this thing where like now every one of my usernames is Zaphos. If you ever look at anything that I do, it's Zaphos. Zaphos,
Yep,
Zaphos,
yep,
Zaphos.
yep.
I like it. I like it.
I just found it really funny because I looked at it, and I was like, who is Bushido God? But then I looked closer at the
Oh,
username.
He
at
couldn't
the
have texted it to
profile
me
picture.
faster. He goes, "This is real."
All right,
I'm like,
let's
"What
stay on
is this?"
topic,
Dave.
boys.
Yes, Bushido God.
So we have a member with the God complex now.
I also had a
Oh.
The
sub.
cult leader. The
First of
cult
all,
leader.
Now
and
drink
the
your
trend,
Charity, you were right.
Let me just say, the trend continued because you always had a secondary AOL screen name
Yep.
that you used, like if you didn't want to talk to certain people.
Yep.
Yeah, you made
So
it private.
my private
Private
one,
account.
when I just for like my girlfriend and a couple of people when I was on AOL, Instant
Mhm.
Messenger, Lord Bushido.
Wow. Wow.
Are you sensing a theme here?
Yes.
A level of confidence
Yes.
at the Napoleon
Oh
stature.
my God, man! Charity is gonna. She is gonna be all over this.
We're going to get a Lord Bushido like
I'm
necktie
thinking
or
of going
something.
Croc God or Bushido.
oh,
No.
God.
KIC God.
Kicking in Crocs, Lord.
Lord G.
Lord kicking in
Lord
Crocs.
kicking in Crocs.
If Frieza could be Lord Frieza, I can. Anyway, we're going back.
Lord-
We're off topic.
Lord Kick.
It's okay. Let us.
We're right
laugh
on
about it.
topic.
It's fine. That's what makes it funny.
All right.
Good
Lord,
signal.
right on topic, Lord. Lord God.
I was. I didn't even
Lord.
start my timer on this. I was going to start an hour.
That's
long
okay.
Timer. That's
Yeah.
okay.
That's all right.
The coolest things made of ice and snow.
Coolest
Coolest
things
thing.
made.
Now let's
What
The
do you mean?
luge. No, it's-
let's.
What do you mean?
I don't know. This was next topic.
Oh,
no. So
okay, great.
if anyone's been to like, you go to a wedding or a sweet 16,
I've never been to a wedding.
have a wedding, whatever it may be. They make
wasn't
some
even at his
crazy
own.
cool things. out of
Actually,
ice.
so you're talking about ice sculptures?
Well, that we can start from that, and then we could wind it back down to like what do kids make outside in the yard when it snows out, right around here? What it's forts or
Right.
tunnels, all that.
Well,
good stuff.
well, this will kind of merge with our favorite snow activities.
So go for
So, or favorite, we'll do inside and outside. But let's
Yeah.
talk. All right. So, when my cousin got married, many years ago, she's a rock and roll kind of girl.
Nice.
So they
Nice.
had it was all like a rock and roll themed wedding. She gave like her husband like a guitar at the wedding.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
The
That is
ice
really cool.
sculptures were all musical. They had big musical
Oh,
ice
cool.
sculptures. So they had a
Wow.
big musical like electric
An-
guitar
Okay.
with an amp, and they had like a big musical note.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
The note. Now, did the ice sculptures were you interacting with them? And what I mean by that is like, did they pour drinks down it or anything like that?
No, they were just there. It wasn't like those
they're just
ice
there.
luge things.
Yeah, which are great too. Sometimes they do that where they'll pump some type of a drink, whether
Master
It's a-
Paul had that in his backyard one year for
yeah?
Shay's graduation party
It was
from
probably, yeah.
college. From
Mm.
college, because she was old enough to have an adult beverage,
Huh.
and it was
Oh,
one
yeah.
of those slides like the shot luge
Mm.
where you would pour the
Mm.
alcohol down
Mm-hmm.
the ice sculpture.
Gotcha.
That was cool.
It was pretty neat.
I think that's awesome.
I've never seen anything made out of ice, like ice sculptures before.
Oh,
Really?
I've seen once they did
Never.
the ice sculpting with the chainsaw.
Yeah, those are
So
cool.
you have the block of ice, and the guy
Oh, they
comes
just
in.
do it right there?
Oh yeah, it's
There's
awesome.
a guy in American Ninja Warrior that's his job, but he's not doing American Ninja Warrior. He's ice
with
sculpting.
ice. Oh wow.
Oh, I think I
chainsaw.
actually, when I was delivering stuff for the tent place, I think I actually was delivering like a tent that was going to go. It was like in Point Pleasant, there was going to be this street fair or like, block
Yeah.
party type deal. And I was overhearing some guy that was talking about a gigantic block of ice. And he was talking to like the coordinator or something that it was going to be set up here, and then he was going to have the chainsaw out to like make
Right.
sure you keep people at a safe distance away, yada yada. And I was thinking, chainsaw? What? Why does this guy have a chain? It must have been to
It was either
carve
it was
the
either
ice
ice
there.
sculpture or murder party.
Yeah.
One or the
one of
other.
those things.
You want to slide the
Point
body
Pleasant
off the pier.
chainsaw.
I just like the
Massacre.
idea of like Steve not asking any questions.
Yeah.
So we'll put the chainsaw here. Just put the table down. Just put the table down.
No, that's all
Can
I
you
did.
please
My
place the
job is at the
canopy
table.
above the chainsaw and ice luge? Yes. Yes.
Sure.
Just my job is
The
just
down
the
payment already went
It's
through.
just
You're
that.
fine.
Yep, that's all that it was. Yep, that's all that it
Put
is.
the tent up. Don't put the tent up.
Just
no
don't ask
questions.
any questions.
They used to do in the Monmouth County Fair the same process, but with wood carving
Yeah.
with the chainsaws.
That's
and
pretty
they
cool.
stopped. Oh, it was great. We actually bought a bear they made there for my father-in-law years ago.
Oh, nice.
But it's the same process, and it's wild watching it because again, on the ice, you have to think about you're not only against the block of ice, but you're against time too. If the chainsaw starts to heat up the ice,
Yep.
it melts.
I
it
just
as
don't
it's
understand
going
who
through it,
looked
too.
at a block of ice and was like, "I'm gonna make something out of that."
I'm gonna use a chainsaw
Oh,
on
dude,
that thing.
You can say that about a lot of things, but it's someone that's crazy creative. It's just the
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing with. So if you think of carving, they think of carving anything. People don't know. You think of carving, you immediately think like pieces of wood, but when you're practicing carving, we use in the Boy Scouts soft soap with a spoon, so
Yeah.
it's safe. But you can carve that really detailed.
Yeah.
You can use pretty much an apple. Right, you can use an apple, carve it, and then it's weird when the apple starts browning. If you leave it out, it actually adds a natural tint to the carve.
Mm.
So it's really weird,
Ooh.
but it does some really cool stuff. So you
Wow,
can carve a
one
lot.
day AI will be carving all the ice.
Oh,
Yeah.
one day it's
yeah.
doing it right now.
Yeah, it's already doing it.
Uh,
Oh my goodness.
so
So favorite indoor outdoor activity?
for snow day activity.
Yeah, snow day activity.
Snow day activity. Okay, and it's
When you were a kid, not
outdoor. Oh,
Yeah, for
well,
kids.
Let's
yeah.
do
Well,
that first.
I
Let's do that
mean,
first.
yeah. Well, we took Declan out for his first snow day,
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
which is pretty fun. We got to throw him around in the snow a little bit, and we did like a little snow angel thing. So okay, let's go down the line. Outdoor.
So Snow Angel,
So
stay there.
We'll talk outdoors.
Snow
so-
Angel has to be a top.
So snow angels is always big as a
'Cause
kid.
Yeah, my kids were in the
sister and
backyard
I,
doing it yesterday.
my sister and I
Yes.
would always go out. We would obviously snow angels. I had those gloves where they would change
Color.
or
Yep.
like an image would appear on the glove when they got cold.
Mm.
So I always had those, and we'd always do like
Usually a transformer.
snow angels, and we'd do like it would always degrade into a snowball fight with my sister. You know how siblings are, so it would always degrade into somebody getting hit with snow.
Nice.
Um,
Somebody being Dave. Got it.
how
Now,
about
how
you,
about you? Because
Steve?
you had a couple. I mean, you're one of 4.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, what would you guys do even when you were younger?
Anybody? Yeah.
Snow angels were not a big one
Wow.
for us. We
Like
did
the
not like to
instant.
do the snow angels.
Okay.
But I will say that snowball fights
Oh,
were
yeah.
an event.
Yeah.
So we would build forts on the
Nice.
side of the yard. We would have time to make a stash of snowballs,
Oh
like it.
wow.
make
Okay.
preparations, and come up with a plan of attack.
Did
He had
you
a
break it to teams?
Of course,
Was it everybody versus you?
No.
That's a good team.
it would sometimes be like, see, this most of that.
Boys versus
Playing-
girls. Poor
no,
Jess.
most of that playing was before my sister was born.
Oh.
So it would be like my dad and one of my brothers versus the other
So
two.
poor Jess didn't get to partake in
No,
ice games?
we would still do snowball fights and
the
stuff
one
like
girl.
that.
She's got to be excluded.
We would still
Aw.
do snowball fights and stuff like that when she was like really young.
Yeah.
But honestly, she didn't like going out in the snow too much.
So listen, I feel like you neglected her. So when you go home today, you
Yes.
should throw a snowball at her face when you walk in.
I will get right on that.
I got to be honest. I wasn't a big I'd go outside for a little bit, but I wasn't those kids that like stayed outside forever because I was
Yeah.
like
We
get
would build
cold.
it-
I'm like
it was-
"Man,
So
It would-
I don't like the cold, right? So I'm not a big
No.
fan.
Yeah, me
like,
either.
like the kids wanted to go, their friend and say, hey, you want to go sledding today? And I did my best to convince them they didn't, and I won today. Like, you don't want to go sledding.
my
You can
wife-
play video games or hang out. Or
My
make
wife was big
food.
on the sledding thing because she's like, oh, we used to go to home.
Ooh, we
down
were
the
really
hill.
big on sledding too. We would always go to Windward Beach.
Oh yeah.
Windward Beach
See,
was always the spot
we
with
did
that
all
big
your
hill there.
Aldridge School is a huge hill to go
Mm.
down.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they like to go there.
Homedale, like you just said
my
before.
wife would go
big
down
hill.
the pole at Homedale.
Yep.
Oh, I
Yep.
heard about that. I've never been. I heard the bowl, even for running, I heard is.
Well, the
like-
pole's notorious for running.
Yeah, I heard.
Don't
it's
mention
like
it for
a
running. It's traumatizing.
Yeah, it's
I heard.
traumatizing. But
I've never done it.
PTSD. PTSD.
I can take you. You want to go to the ball?
No, we
I'll
don't. No, we
walk
don't.
down,
No, we
yeah.
don't. No, we don't.
Now
That would be
stroll
great
down the
Spartan
bowl.
race training though.
It is. It
It
really
would be
is. We
amazing
should go
Spartan
once a
race
week.
training at Homedale.
We should go once a week.
That's a lot,
Anyway,
man. That's a lot of driving to Homedale and back.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
It's like my life.
That you chose. I didn't.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, so she's big on the sledding thing. We never really did that as kids. Like, I
No,
guess
no.
my
Sledding?
sister might have liked it, but I wasn't. Again, it's roller coaster esque, not my cup of tea.
Oh, that's true. That's a good
We
point.
did because my where we used to live, my driveway was a complete hill, and then all of our side streets were hills, so it was very easy
Yeah, man.
to sleigh ride right where I lived.
Sleigh
I
ride,
live
huh?
by Harshorn Woods, so. it was
Oh,
super
I know
easy.
Hawthorne. That's
Yeah,
a good
so-
place to run too.
Oh yeah, great place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we did do a lot of sleigh, but for us again, it was more the snow forts. Now, Steve,
Mm.
when you made snow forts,
Mhm.
I used to use, still do now if I could with the kids. I used to use buckets from the beach and pack the snow into it because they would be shaped like castles. I'd turn it
Oh,
over,
nice.
and that actually looked like little castles.
No, we never did that. What we
Yeah.
would do, we would either just pile the snow up into like a mound
Mm-hmm.
and try to either have it be like there would either be like a trench, depending on how deep the snow was.
Mhm.
I remember one it was when it was like a foot deep and it was like up like because I was
Yeah.
really small when I was a kid, obviously, because it'd be up to like my waist, and I had to like dig like a trench, and then we piled the snow up there. There's like a whole trench across the one side of the yard. There was one time where we actually just made this gigantic mound. Like this mountain of snow, and then dug like a tunnel under it because we had packed it down enough that the roof stayed up. So it was essentially an igloo. There was one time, oh god, we used we had those round sleds with like the
Yep,
rope handles
like
on the
the- yep.
sides. I forget what they're called.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Like
they had
the
the
discs.
yeah, they were
They're
like
just discs.
Captain America shields.
They're
yeah.
just discs. Yeah.
And we placed those like vertically down in the snow, and then packed snow in front of those to make it like these round,
I like it.
Spartan like shields
Yeah.
in front. We had some pretty creative ones. Yeah, it was a lot of
Did you do
fun.
any
We never
snowball
did
fights in karate this year. I mean, this week, like the indoor ones.
Oh, the indoor snow. Yeah,
No,
We
we
did
did.
that.
we did
didn't
that
do it
Monday.
this
We
week.
did that Monday when
we
it was
did the
snowing outside.
snowball of power. Basically, like if you do a great job, you get the snowball and you get to throw it at one person you choose.
Yeah,
Oh,
what
we didn't do that. I just did the snowball fight fun drill.
We,
at the end of
we,
class. on Monday night when it was snowing outside. I was like, well, it's snowing outside. Oh no, I'm sorry. Was it Monday? Or was it Tuesday?
Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. That's what it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, it's snowing outside. So we can't have a snowball fight with the real snow, but we have fake snow.
My dog always liked the
I like
snow
that.
too. My childhood dog would love the snow.
Also, I sent you the pictures.
Yeah, your dog in the
So
snow.
we have a new puppy. It was her first time in the snow.
Yep.
She would dig her face under the snow and then
No.
throw it up in the air.
No.
She has long hair on her face.
Yeah.
So it would
All
look
in.
like a beard.
Yeah,
It was hilarious.
That's great.
We have an awesome picture I have to show you guys. It froze along her forearms and around her neck. It looked like she had an outfit on.
That's so cute.
Oh my god!
on the
yeah.
screen. Well, anybody that watches
no,
football,
no,
if you
no.
saw
Well, I can send it to you if you want.
If you want to.
anybody
Go
that
for it.
watches football,
Make more work for me. It's fine.
Done.
anybody that watches football,
This means something
did you
was
see?
happening.
Did you see?
Something was up on the screen.
Did you see? Was it Kansas City's coach? Yeah, it was Kansas. His mustache. Was
Yes,
frozen.
his poor mustache. Andy
No,
Reid.
I didn't
Oh,
see it.
Andy Reid. His mustache was
Oh
frozen.
man!
Icicles falling all
Wow.
over it.
I have a picture
Oh,
of me. I
man.
think it was 2 years ago. I was outside shoveling, and I came in. My entire goatee was frozen.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
have pictures
it
of
happens.
it looking like an icicle.
I'm in the
see
I'm
it.
in the regrow process right now.
Yeah,
so I
he
cleaned
has
it
it
fresh,
shaved down pretty
and I'm
pretty
letting
close
I'm
to
letting
his
it get back to.
It's already been an hour.
face.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Kelsey let you in the house.
Did you have favorite indoor activities?
Favorite indoor activity. So we're gonna go just for us. It's that consistent. We don't have to go into the details, but Uno, right? We like to sit down, play
Always
Uno,
Uno, yeah.
hot
Nice.
or a movie,
Yeah, movie.
hot
Yeah,
dr- hot
movie,
dr-
for
hot
sure.
beverage of some kind,
Yep.
and the candy canes from Christmas.
Yep.
You saw Isabella
Yeah,
had one.
yeah.
That's our thing. This is when they go.
We always did like as a kid, it was always like I didn't like hot beverages as a kid except for I still like tea,
Mhm.
but I wasn't a hot chocolate kid until I was much older. Like I like hot
Mm.
chocolate now, but I didn't like it when I was a kid. So it was hot beverages wasn't really a thing. I guess my sister, my mom would always do that. My dad would usually work even if it was snowing, and then video games. We do video games or a movie. We watch a movie together,
Yep.
but then I'd have video game time because it was one of the few times
You can sit down and play games.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're
you're
just
home.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that too. We tried to do some video games. The girls were watching Homeland. It's a show like on
Ooh.
a barn, and then Luke and I came down and just gamed a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Nice. Very
How about you, Steve? What do you do?
It's a show based on a series of novels.
Yep, I heard.
So
That's cool.
Nicole's already seen
What
the
show is
entire
that?
thing. But she,
Homeland.
Homeland.
my sister-in-law,
It's a good one.
very big into them.
Well,
as-
that's
as
her
a
life,
youth,
right?
yeah.
It's kind of like imagining it because now she lives that life.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So what do you do, Steve?
So even when we were kids, we had to help shovel the driveway.
Oh
obviously.
yeah, we do
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
When
we
we
do
were kids,
that
they
too.
showed
Good
us
point. Good
So-
point.
Yeah, that is a
Forgot
good
that.
point.
We
Yeah,
do
we
Now
did
that.
I'm
help
not gonna
shovel the
lie,
drive.
my
And
kids
I will say that
did not help.
the shoveling of the driveway would supply plenty of snow to build the forts for the
Yeah.
snowball
Oh
fights.
yeah.
So that definitely
Yep.
helped out a little bit. So we would do that, and sometimes we would go right into the snowball fight after that, or sometimes we'd go back inside. But I remember that always, even after we got older, and we were like, I don't want to play in the snow anymore. We were like, the older teenagers, and like, I'm not going outside in the snow. We would shovel the driveway, back inside, hot chocolate with mini marshmallows.
Oh, nice.
Has to be mini marshmallows.
The mini are the best. You have to have the
Mini
mini.
is the
yeah.
absolute best, and drink that. Watch a movie. Although I do have this funny story. I want to say I told this one to you guys before, but I definitely did not tell it on the podcast before. So this was back when we had one of those big like snow blizzards. It was like a blizzard coming
Right.
down. This was what was it? Was it 2015? I can't remember the exact year.
Let's go
But
with Snow Blizzard.
Yeah, it was like a snow blizzard going on, and
The blizzard of 2000.
yeah, so
Yeah,
one of those snowstorms. But it was once again one of those things where it really didn't start snowing bad until later on in the day.
Right.
So my dad had gone to work.
Got it.
They sent him home early, naturally.
Early dismissal.
But exactly. But as he's driving home from work, that's when it really kicked in. Like this is when we get to the point like we're snowed in.
Yeah,
kicked in.
yeah.
So
Which is
now
like
it's
whiteout.
Yep, exactly.
Ugh.
So now we're getting to that point, and he's on his way home. So he called the house, and we were instructed to go outside. Right, me and my older brother.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Clear
my,
a spot.
Not my younger brother for some reason. Yeah, no, even gets better than that. We were instructed to go outside, right? Shovel the driveway, and then to start shoveling the street.
So you can get in. Yeah, so you can
So
get
I
in.
live on a dead end road, right?
Yep.
You've been to my house.
Yeah.
I live on a dead end road. our house is not at the edge of the dead end road.
Nope.
We're set a couple houses in.
Yeah.
So me and my older brother look at each other like, we're supposed. Wait, huh? Like we have
And,
on
like,
that street.
and not only that, how far? Because you says turn into the street.
No,
and
the
other
street.
streets.
exactly. So we had to go out there and start shoveling the street. And this you don't have to like shovel it all the way down to the street. Just shovel off like enough of it so that the wheels can.
Yeah.
And we're like, how are we supposed to do this with shovels? Like we don't even have a snowblower. Like it wasn't even. We just have the regular like.
It's called
the shovels. We're like, what? How is this supposed to work? So
It's
we went
called man
outside and
up.
we're starting to do it, and naturally we did not get down to the edge of the road by the time he got home. Like it was a lot of snow, and
Yeah,
it was
oh
just
yeah.
the two of us, and we're there. So he parked, down at the edge of the street before he turns onto our road, and he gets out and he's helping us, right? And we're trying to get this done. I just remember thinking like, this is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever thought of in my like.
Well, I'll tell you
When
why it's not ridiculous.
shoveling the
though.
road.
You know why it's not ridiculous? Because he wants the car off the road, so when they come to plow, his
Yeah.
car is not stuck
When
for
you said
4
that, when
days.
as soon as you said that, it triggered a thing with me. Is as soon as you said snowblower. Anytime I have a friend, it's like, I bought a snowblower for this year. I'm like, oh great, we're not
Now
gonna
it's
get
not
any
because of
snow.
snow.
Oh,
It's
mine-
a curse of the snowblower.
I
Yep,
have
yep,
to
yep.
actually take it out because it's been in the shed for 2.5 years.
I have a snowblower
And-
at my parents' house.
Well, I have it, but
So is
I
it
don't
yours?
even know if it's going to start.
My dad
So
has
we're
two
gonna have to
snowblowers.
drain it and start
So
all over
he had
again
one
anyway.
that was broken and he fixed it,
Yeah.
but he got a new one. So he's like, "You want the one I fixed?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he's
You
like,
got a
"Mike,
pretty big driveway too, so it'd be useful for that.
yeah, but I don't have it. It's at my parents' house still.
So for yesterday,
So listen,
hand shovels it is.
I went to shovel and it wasn't that bad. First day I shoveled Tuesday,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
problem.
Yep.
The second shovel was on Friday. It was a little bit more snow, as we know, and to my surprise, Nicole came out to shovel with me. Now, it wasn't like she doesn't shovel before. She shovels. I know you had said, right?
Yeah,
Kelsey
yeah.
goes and shovels
Kelsey
with you
shovels.
too. But it was a nice surprise. She came out. She's
Throw
like,
her out
oh,
there.
whoa.
Go get
You
your
want to help
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I was like,
she's-
come out here and help.
She does it right
Um,
away.
And it was nice. She came out and she's like, hey, we'll be done in 10 minutes. So I had my headphones on. I took them out. We chatted. We had a good time. And I'm like, yeah, let's get this done. And it was good because I didn't need to bring the snowblower out.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
just used the shovels
Mhm.
and cleaned up pretty quick. And again, we left the car in. I have a 2-car garage, but there's no way I'm getting both cars in. So we got her car in, mine not, because we
Right.
had to go to the dojo the next day, and she needed her
Yeah,
car.
man.
So I'm like, let's just get it done. I'll warm up the car, defrost everything,
Yeah.
and then we'll head back out.
Now you lived in the townhouse.
I did.
All right. I had a condo before I bought my house. Did you have assigned spots at your?
Not originally, but later on, yes, I did. Yeah, I had
So-
assigned spots.
So my biggest pet peeve is when I would shovel a spot, right? Clean out a spot,
Mhm.
go through all that effort, you go to work. You come home, somebody's parked in the spot that you took that hard because we didn't have assigned spots, so that was always the well, it's not assigned.
spot.
Right. So I remember blowing up on my neighbor. Like they watched me shovel.
They're like peeking out.
They
like,
were watching me.
You just see the blinds. Dave's almost done. Run out there.
And then they took my spot.
And again, I'm going to say,
You watch me do it. And it's well, it's not assigned. I distinctly remember his girlfriend going, well, these spots aren't assigned.
and I can see Dave.
no,
walking,
they're not. But I put in the work to have
Dave
that spot
walking
clear.
back to get his car, and the old Mario Kart Luigi move as the neighbor just drives by, looking at Dave as he pulls right into the
So
spot.
mad.
And I don't know if Dave throws the shovel at the car at that point.
Oh, man, I was so mad. Because you put the work in, right? I know it's not
Yeah.
assigned, but like, I did the work for that
you
spot.
cleared that spot. Yeah, exactly.
We're putting this into this comfort mode for a second.
Yeah.
If someone takes the effort to shovel out a spot just for themselves,
Yeah, but-
don't be
And you
that
know what?
person that
So-
just races into the spot.
So honestly,
Don't
though,
do it. Shovel your own
I
spot out.
shoveled out a couple of spots. So I shoveled out a couple of
Aw,
spots.
you're a
Because I'm
gem.
good,
You
I was a
had
good
to.
neighbor. Took all my spots. But because after I blew up on him the next time it snowed, he made a point of shoveling like 12 spots and the sidewalk just to kind of like rub it in my face. And I was like, yeah, I don't care.
Nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't do
Ooh,
my
you
spot.
really stuck it to me.
See, if he had just
How does
shoveled,
that stick it to you? All
if
he
you
did
had
was
just
like,
shoveled the
hey,
street, you would have had plenty of room.
Exactly. There you
That's what
go.
I'm saying.
Yeah, if you had just shoveled the
Golly.
street, you would have had plenty of room. You would have no problem whatsoever.
There was one time where Steve shoveled my car out for me when I was in Florida.
Oh my God, were you thankful for it? Were you thankful?
So thankful.
No, he wasn't.
Oh wow.
No, he was. So
Oh,
I'll tell.
wow.
I'll tell the story.
Now,
Yeah.
was that almost as bad as when Alex's dad
So
left a
I
disaster?
just learned about this today, apparently. I don't I didn't remember.
Tell the story.
Tell your
I'll tell
story,
the story.
and I'll
So-
tell my side of
there
it
was
never
one-
happened.
No. So there was one time where like Dave said, he used
We
to have a
mentioned earlier,
condo.
I go to
condo.
Florida
You go to the
for
Disney
Disney.
Marathon, and I would condo sit because it's not a house, so I would condo sit for Dave for that period of time. So this was on the day that he was coming back, and
What we call this is what we call the PC days or pre-Croc.
the
So this
pre-Croc
was
days.
2020. No, it was like 2016 pre-PC.
God. Anyways, it's gonna be a
Instead
thing now.
of PC.
This was
It was 20
the day that he was getting
2017
back.
PC
It was the day that he was getting back.
pre-Croc.
And it was also a weekday, so he was still going to have to go into the dojo. to
Yeah,
go to
I
work.
would come home and
so
go right to.
my thought was, when he gets back, he is not going to feel like having to dig out his car
No.
and then having to go to work after that.
I
So
would have done it.
I'm
though.
going to dig out
You
his
would've.
car for him. So I went out there and I dug out his Mini Cooper. I made sure that it was all cleared out for him. And yeah. And then
What a
it's-
gem.
I honestly
Never
I don't
thanked
even
me for it.
recall this.
But I do
you know
remember
why?
you
It's
telling
'cause-
me how you thanked him like 70 times over some Sunday.
Yeah,
I remember
of
that.
course. Yeah, that's exactly how you
no,
remember it.
this
don't
was
you?
mentioned today
Yeah.
in
Mentioned it today.
Yes.
too,
Before
'cause we
technical
were talking about
errors.
snow day stuff, so this came up in my
Yeah,
memory because
yeah.
this was part of the
and
snow
I
day.
have no
But
recollection of this.
Well, you know why? Is because I didn't think I had to tell you because there was a bunch of other cars that were still like what's the word I'm
Condos
looking
work
for?
mysterious ways, man. I don't pay attention.
And B, thank you, but do you need to thank you? Just do it for the love of doing
No,
it.
I did. That's why I didn't.
No,
mention it
you
until
held
now.
a grudge for
It
years.
just
came up now. I
It
wasn't
built
holding
up
a grudge.
inside.
Every time he sees my car now covered in snow, he's like, "There's one time I made that car now covered in
No,
snow."
you'd be in the dojo and you'd see someone be like, "Oh, thanks so much for the help today," and Steve's like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, isn't it nice when people thank each other for help?"
I every time he
Shaking
sees
the spoon.
every time he
Yeah.
sees Kelsey shoveling, I'm like, "Thank you,
Yeah.
honey. I appreciate your shoveling."
Yeah, it's great
No, you
when
have to thank
Kelsey
someone.
does it.
Yeah, you thank your wife. That's
All
fine.
right, I think
Well-
we snow dayed this enough.
What happened with when Alex came to? It was
Oh
watching
yeah,
your
well,
house that
so
one
yeah, so
time.
Alex watched my before Steve was watching my condo.
This was back when I was too young too. Yeah.
Alex would watch my condo, and the one time it snowed because the Disney Marathon takes place in January, so it snows here sometimes.
Yep.
He returned, I returned home, and there was wet boot prints throughout my house, my condo.
Mm.
Just like somebody just went into the snow, opened my front door, and just walked all the way through my house. And he's like, "Oh, it was my dad came over to check on a couple things." It's like, okay, but
But he didn't wipe his feet.
everywhere. It was everywhere. It was wet everywhere.
It happens. At
Oh,
least he was there to
man.
help you.
Man.
Again, he's very handy. So if there was something wrong with your house while you weren't there, he would have taken care of it.
Yeah, and that was actually the last time I think Alex watched. There were other issues, Alex.
You're
and
like,
you know what
thanks,
they
but
are."
no
After
thanks.
this, no more.
The wet boots was probably the best of the issues. So we'll just leave it there. But you know what
That's so
happened,
funny.
Alex.
He walks
That's a
in.
discomfort mode for another day.
Yeah, discomfort.
That's,
Another
yeah,
day, another
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
But do not take someone's parking spots
No.
Yeah.
if they shovel
All
it
right.
out.
Well,
And
let's.
don't not thank them if they shovel out your car for you. For years.
All right.
Don't
it's-
expect to
it's
thank you?
time to love you
I'm just
from the
leading into
bottom
this
of my
bit.
Crocs.
Oh, there
That's
you go.
not the line. That's not the line. That's not the line.
Shibuda.
No. Now you're doing it on purpose. All the other times you've forgotten the line.
The
Now you're doing it on
line
purpose.
is let's kick this Croc into comfort mode.
There it is. If you have not already, make
Like
sure.
it, subscribe.
You didn't forget.
5-star reviews.
5-star reviews. If you're listening to us on any of the podcast access shows, 5-star reviews, 5-star reviews, comments.
Yes.
Visit our new website, www.kickininCrocs.com, for links to all of our updated items and countdowns to our next show.
Yes.
CROCS.
The best.
Stay kicking internet.